Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is only a drift and a turn away from releasing. The 2024 Game Awards had us rev our engines and, now in February 2025, the announcement trailer has us off to the races. In the previous video, I briefly went over how the completely valid and not at all biased or washed up IGN did a first preview of CrossWorlds. Today, we are going to put our pedal to the metal and drive even deeper into the gameplay footage, along with the announcement trailer to see if we can get a better understanding of the racing game to be. Hello everyone, I'm OCDsaster and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic exclusive channel, so if that sounds like something your speed, consider watching some other videos after this one and subscribing to the channel. In the previous video, I went over the basic mechanics of CrossWorlds, the travel rings of it all, if you will. TLDR, CrossWorlds seems to be a successor to the Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing Transform game with an added twist of dimension hopping. This video will concentrate more on the interesting details that I missed in my first viewings. I will not cover absolutely everything in the video, so please go ahead and start writing your angry, "You missed this obvious detail right here" timestamp comment down below. Starting off with the announcement trailer shown off at Sony's February State of Play. The first track appears to be a neo-retro take on Green Hill, where we have a sleek futuristic course with holographic sprite imagery paying homage to the Sonic stage absolutely no one is tired of seeing. The track looks like it's in the Sydney Opera House in Australia for whatever reason. I'm not saying that it is, it's just oddly similar. The pit crew cheering to the sides at the start of the race are none other than the customizable animal avatar options from the #1 Sonic game ever, Sonic Forces. If you couldn't hear the blatant sarcasm there, congrats, you have homework to check out my Remaking Sonic Forces series after this. It's fun homework, I promise. Sage, Vector, Eggman, Metal, Shadow, Sonic, Jet, Knuckles, Amy, Tails, and Orange Car, and Silver race out of the portals to the starting line. It's intriguing to note that only Jet is using extreme gear. We switch to gameplay footage, and Sonic gets a boost off the start and passes, oh, Omega, when did you get here? Sonic then commits road rage on Cream and her Chow Cheese. That was the Orange Car obstructed previously. Advertisements around the arena show off the rarest of resources, air, for the extreme gear, along with ads for Dampa Motors and Dampa Airlines. And oh look, you can use Dampa Airlines to travel to the quaint active volcanic land of Chaos Island, in which you are forced into a side camera section for 90% of visiting. How relaxing! Tricks are displayed as you soak in the vibrant lights of pixelated Green Hill iconography. There's boosts. Amy is now in a green girl boss Humvee for some reason, and then Shadow pulls ahead of everyone, revealing the big wow factor of this racing game, travel rings. Shadow has an option to travel back in time to the era of dinosaurs, or enter an empty vacuum of space containing only question marks. He makes the right decision. The racers work the kinks out of the, hold on, let me Google long neck dinosaur name, Sauropod's neck. Sonic has a small orange tornado icon item thing, and then drives into another item container and it turns into a Hot Wheels SUV. Cute. Sonic's car then turns into said Hot Wheels SUV and drives right under a T-Rex with no regard for personal safety. Classic Sonic. Oh no, he's not in this game as well, is he? Then we get to a hard cut to Sonic breakdancing in the air on an extreme gear, which brings the most delight to my heart. Tails transforms his car into a plane, flies through a booster ring, and collects a red ring. This section of the trailer reveals the military bunker of Metal Harbor. I'm surprised Gunn allows public civilians to drive their unregulated vehicles around their facilities, especially after what happened last time. Tails sends a green boxing glove ahead of him as the track transforms through the travel ring to a dark and stormy pirate ship dimension, which I am loving. There are ghosts with cute pirate hats on. Avoiding scurvy, Tails turns his plane into a boat and beelines it to a giant freaking kraken that obviously was the culprit of the shipwreck. We switch to Eggman as he gets launched out of a cannon with some interesting graphic with Vector's face on it. It looks like Eggman has both a giant four-wheeler power-up and a rocket red boxing glove. Sonic portals out to a flowery track with hot air balloons all around. He has an orange drill wisp power-up, allowing him to transform into an orange drill wisp. Huh. Some other scenes flash by, one being a Chow Park track, which looks amazing, swinging ship rides included. The Kraken opens its wide mouth for the racers to drive through a new travel ring, which leads them to the finish line where the 12, I counted 12, racers finish. Zoom in on Sonic taking the lead and splat that logo on the screen. Announce trailer is done. I really liked this trailer. I think it did a great job of showing off what this game is about without giving away too much, but also leaving a little bit to the imagination until we get some more reveals down the line. I really enjoyed that it starts off as a generic kart racer and then immediately throws you in for a loop with the travel rings taking you to another dimension. I think this is such a nice touch. We haven't seen something like this in a kart racer before, so I'm very excited to see how it pays off in the end when I finally get my hands on this game. My main concern is the connection when you're racing online, and also just like how seamlessly this transitions from dimension back to the regular course. What does that look like when you're not in first place? Because my understanding is it's the person who's in first place that gets to make the decision on where you go. What does it look like when you're farther behind? It's just very interesting, and I really want to see some more mechanics. As I mentioned previously, IGN did a first preview for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and although I don't like IGN that much, they did a great job for this video. They only showed footage that I am assuming Sega allowed them to, so we didn't get to see menus or UI or anything like that, but they did go over their experience playing the game for the first time, and it was a lot of details. I highly recommend you go check out that video. I also did a video kind of going over the main topics of that video, but I didn't go into deep detail on analysis because that's their content, and I'm not going to do that here either because we would be here forever. I'm not going frame by frame. I'm just going to kind of spitball and just give my opinions and what I'm really hoping to see for this game. They mentioned the travel rings, they mentioned collecting rings. They didn't mention anything about the red rings. I'm wondering what happens if you collect all those in the course. They talk about remnants of a dimension popping in and out once you travel to and from. They talked about these rare incidents where boosts will appear and you can like boost through rings to get even more speed. One major mechanic they talked about for this game that I'm very curious in seeing, and I'm also very concerned about for the full execution, they haven't shown it off yet, they just talked about it, is the kart customization. Because not only do you have kart racers who have their own types, acceleration type, power type, drifting type, but then you also have karts that have special little, traits and abilities, but then you could mod and level up those karts and add different things to them. But then you can also see, from what they made it sound like, you can see what other players' builds are before you actually jump into the race, so then you can counter their builds by doing your own builds. And this seems like a lot of fun. Like, don't get me wrong, like this is a very cool, interesting way to do things. I'm just concerned about balancing and making sure that there isn't like a meta and Sega doesn't touch this game after it releases and everything just stays unbalanced and everyone's using one type of kart, one type of modification. That will be a little bit annoying, because what I've experienced, I've been burned by kart racers before, and I'm not saying Sega or Sonic Team are going to do this, but I've played the remake of Crash Team Racing, and they had the game out for a year, and then they killed it. They didn't update it, they didn't do any extra content, everything just went to the store, and they just left it alone. B-Nox said, we're out, bye-bye, we gotta do Call of Duty. And I know that's a different case, and that's a very niche case, but I don't want that to happen with this game. That's a major concern I have, is they're gonna release the game, they're gonna update it, they're gonna balance it, they're gonna do all these things for a year, and then they're just gonna move on to the next Sonic project, which is great. I love more Sonic projects, but then this game just kind of gets left to the fans to either mod or to just do their own thing with. Because I don't want it to be, oh, you play as Shadow on a Extreme Gear with X, Y, and Z mods, and then you just win, and there's no patch or balancing to that. That would be very broken to me. I am very concerned about this. So hopefully they will show off some more of this details before the game comes out, and my concern can be relieved. But I want to know what you guys think. Is this a concern for you? Let me know down in the comments below. What are you most excited for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds? What are you least excited for? What characters do you want to see in? I'm very, very curious to what you guys have to say. If there's anything else let me know as well down in the comments. I love hearing your guys' thoughts, opinions, and that's going to be it. I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya.